This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
You know,
Yep.
one day, and I know you don't save them, it would be kind of neat to do a blooper reel. The blooper reel here at the office, I understand, stopped before I started.
Yeah.
I never got to hear it, but they are infamous when it comes to the Christmas party. That was kind of the end of year.
Yep.
The person who would record commercials with all the announcers would keep all the bloopers
From when we read commercials.
from where and then it would be played at the Christmas party, be all put together in this
Yeah.
blooper reel. I think we should do that for the show.
I don't know.
For the podcast.
I didn't
There's
start
some
recording.
interesting comments. You're not recording right now?
So you come across as like so sweet and everything before. You're
I'm
just
not.
so vile at me. You're just the things you say to me.
Let's go back to the announcer descriptions on our
Yeah.
Facebook page.
Yeah, exactly.
It says, I'm the kindest person in the world, Mark.
I know. That's the wonderful impression that you give. And you frighten me. So scary. Okay, I get it. Takes me a while to get stirred up.
Do you want to start over? Or do you okay?
No, we're this far along. Hi, everybody. It's Mark and Charity. Hi, everybody.
No,
Welcome to the
not Wednesday.
podcast today.
Thursday, September 15th. We are halfway through September already. Does that not seem shocking to you? It does to me. It's incredible that we're halfway through September already.
Probably. But I got to tell you, I'm at that point in my life where everything goes fast. It's true. Everything just goes fast.
Just
Our
a blur,
anniversary
is it?
was a few days ago. My wife's birthday's coming up.
Yeah, it was just Monday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Your anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is a long week.
Yours is coming up,
It is coming up, yep.
10 days or so. And then it's Thanksgiving. And then we're going to a friend's like 1 year wedding anniversary. But it's really their wedding reception because they got married in COVID. So they said, what we're going to do is we're going to have the public party. So it's not really a reception.
year from now.
In a year on our first anniversary.
That's a
This
good
will be
idea.
the night before the Saturday because they got married outside. So great. We're looking forward to that. Oh, that's Halloween. And then it's Remembrance Day. And then you're putting up your Christmas tree.
I put my Christmas tree up after Halloween.
I know. Oh, all right.
So it goes up
But
before.
yeah.
Wrong order. But you're right. Yes,
Oh
I get
my
what you're
gosh.
saying. Christmas will be here before we know it.
United
but
Way
it does
campaign
seem weird.
kicked off yesterday. United Way campaign kicked off. And for now, that's like the 4 months. That's September to...
Well, you being on the committee,
Oh my gosh.
it would stand out more for you for sure.
Yeah.
Because I always think of when they announce their final tally in the new year. That's kind of like the kickoff to the new year is when we hear from
Yeah.
United Way.
How'd we do?
How do we do? That kind of final push to get to their goal and then the big announcement. But yeah, yesterday they announced their goal for this year.
So good on them. A lot of good people on that.
$2 million.
campaign. $2 million they got to raise. 1 in 3 people in the community touched directly by one of the 55 organizations or programs that benefit from your United Way generosity. And close to 84 cents out of every dollar goes right back into a very low administration cost. So, for example, let me just throw this in because I always stay on topic. I was listening to a podcast yesterday about the PGA Tour and the argument with the LIV. And part of it is that the PGA Tour always hangs their hat on how much charitable donations that they make.
Okay.
And that you guys leaving, you're hurting charities. Do you know how much money out of every dollar
From
the
the PGA?
Tour gives away to charity? It's
I
like
think it'd be lucky if it was 40.
12 cents.
Yeah.
So they make a big deal out of it. The United Way is 84 cents
On the dollar.
stays in. Out of every dollar goes right to those programs.
And the PGA is 12
is like
cents.
12 to 16
Good job,
cents,
guys.
but they brag
Good
about
job.
it. And anyway, that's going on. In
Interesting.
order to be a charity in Canada, I believe you have to give at least 10 cents. So there's some charities in Canada where 90% is chewed up by quote unquote administration costs. You think all of your money is going to it. And I'm not talking about the major ones we know about. As we head into Terry Fox, for example, we know how much money they give
Yeah.
to fighting cancer. But every once in a while, something comes up on your social media feed and you think, oh, Ukraine, that's a good idea. It's a registered charity number from Canada. So therefore it must be. And it is a total right. But in order to qualify, as
That's
long
the
as they
minimum.
give a dime, 90
They can be
cents.
registered.
Not all of them, but it's worth reading the fine print or asking a question or making a call. If it
Certainly.
sounds too good to be true, make the call. But a lot of our local ones, we've seen it. It's totally possible that when you give Dave Allen at the Family Y money for their building campaign, they're going to build it.
Yeah.
When Bill's going to start building a safety village, they're going to build it. In the United Way, we watch these programs go on.
Absolutely.
So that's going on.
That's
so we
exciting.
talked about that this morning. What else do you want to talk about today? It really feels like a free-for-all today.
I think it is.
It was so cold this morning.
It was
Opened
cold.
the door. It was 9 degrees in my driveway. You live just south of Santa, so it was colder where you are.
Clearly not, because it was 5 degrees where we were. South of Santa, I would say, would be closer to Bancroft, Algonquin Park, because it was 2 degrees in Bancroft, and then you looked it up, and the coldest spot in the province was the East Gate to Algonquin Park, which is just north of Bancroft, up around Lake St. Peter, and it was -1.
Whitney, -1 in Whitney this morning. Hope their school bus ran. I think only one. The kids.
Well, you didn't have any late buses, so.
We didn't have a single late bus this morning.
I'd say it was
of
okay.
note. So that was nice. Mm-hmm. So we
But
got
it was
that
chilly.
going this
Fall
morning.
has arrived, even though officially it'll be next week.
I'm kind of waiting for it because I'm looking at things. I keep wanting to put things on the air that said it's fall, it's football and sweater weather, but it's not fall because
Well,
it's
it
still.
is. Today certainly was sweater weather, and we
Yeah.
got the fall decorations out this week. I've had my mom's out for a couple of weeks, but actually dug out the bin of fall decorations, so they've been slowly going up this week. So fall's at our house.
My wife has the most beautiful fall wreath she puts on the front door. Mm-hmm. Technically, it's in our home, so it's partly my
Is
wreath
it up?
too. But no, not yet.
Not yet?
No, but
When does it go up?
I think she gets all into it around Thanksgiving. She gets giddy around October 1st. That's what throws us off when pumpkin spice starts in August. Like, now, what do we do with this?
See, I love fall, so I put up the fall stuff now. The Halloween stuff comes out in October.
Okay.
I don't put the Halloween stuff up until
That's crazy,
Thanksgiving.
right?
That is crazy. And then it all comes down and Christmas goes up November
right.
1st.
So once
And then we
Halloween
just
goes
live
up,
in Christmas for 2
everything's
months.
there for 2 months. Like, it's all
Well,
holidays.
Halloween goes up at September 1st. The house is decorated until the new year.
October 1st. September 1st?
Well, we get the fall stuff out for
I see.
September,
Right.
and then the Halloween stuff comes out in October.
Okay.
And then that all goes away, and then the Christmas blows up in our house November 1st.
Santa Pooper, the outhouse, when does that go up?
Santa Pooper comes out usually about middle of the month, right around my birthday.
Okay, in November.
Santa
Right.
Claus Parade in Toronto.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of the indicator. That's when the inflatables go up.
Yeah, the inflatables have
The
their own
inflatables
day.
go up. Yeah, about that day. Lights, they can go up anytime. Like you,
Yep.
I try to drop the hints early when the weather's nice. It's too early right now. I shouldn't say that. Maybe the end of October.
I want to say
They
something.
don't go on,
Yeah.
but they'll go up.
I want to say something and I want to be right. I want to be accurate. And I've never let that bother me before,
No,
but
never.
I don't want to
So
get
what-
this wrong.
yeah.
The other night, I was taking my recycling and garbage out. So that would have been Tuesday night, and it was just around dusk. And there was a house down the street that had its Christmas lights on.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought was, what? And then I thought, the Queen.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe people are turning on
Lights.
what appear to be their holiday lights early.
Queen?
For the Queen. Because I had no idea why they would have been on.
You've never seen them before.
I'm not sure.
They're not someone who keeps them on.
No, otherwise I would have noticed
normally.
that. It wouldn't
Okay.
have stood out to me.
Because there is a house, Walbridge Loyalist, just after you turn off of the Sterling Foxborough Road,
Yeah.
right in, I don't know what that
Chatterton
subdivision
Valley?
is. It Chatterton Valley?
Yes.
There is a house along there that has a tree up year round.
Okay.
Every morning I drive by and the Christmas tree's on.
In their
window,
house?
In the window.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I ask, are these lights, have they been up all year or
don't
are they just
think
new?
so.
But yeah, no, they have their Christmas, it's been up all year. Their tree. I drive by and it's kind of nice. You drive by
Sure.
and there's lights on. It's a Christmas tree and
They've
the
been
glow.
doing it,
and-
trying to get in our podcast now for over a year, and it worked.
but it's all year round.
Good for them.
So, wow, you thought of the Queen. I don't know if I would have
First thought
gone
was
there.
the Queen because I see all flags at half staff. And of course, that's clearly
yes,
what
we've
it's
got
for.
ours at half staff.
With the day of mourning coming up on Monday, and there is a lot to unpack behind the scenes,
There's been so much this week,
including Rod Stewart's wife as a cop.
which I saw that. I'm
Pulse
like,
this morning. That was
when
so
did
good.
that
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah.
Only part time, but yeah, she's going to be working the funeral on Monday. She's part of the security detail.
My guess is it's all hands on deck there.
Mm-hmm.
What a sad moment, too, for William and Harry, the princes.
Yeah, I saw that today because they followed along with their dad, uncles, and aunt. The journey from, where was she? Buckingham Palace to Westminster Hall and how they do that procession through just to see the streets kind of choked me up, but then to see them walking behind the casket again, which we haven't seen or they've done since they lost their mother, really. And today's Harry's birthday.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah.
He's 38 today. So to do that, it was really sad.
No doubt there will be side-by-side photos of them as children. There will be
doing that walk.
And like then and now.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
So who got fired? I'm unsure who lost their jobs.
Gonna have to look at that. We'll talk about that more tomorrow because there was a redundancy of some sort between the Queen's staff and now the King's staff or the Prince's staff. So I don't know. Someone was let go, but I don't know if it was hers or his. Or
a combination of two. A few of his that he really
keeps and then lets some of hers
promoted.
Go. Yeah, because as you pointed out, yes, he may inherit her staff, but he has his staff who he's worked with and know. And so when you want to keep some of them.
Because they know a lot. You don't want that walking out the door. There's a lot of experience, much as he's soaked up everything.
But the Queens too.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But I also understand that if you're my age, pushing 60, and you've done this with your one monarch, and you were hired at 18, this is the only job you've ever had, and you've got a lot of experience. Sorry, let you go.
Yeah.
At a very sad time.
I'll look at that and see who's coming and who's going. What caught me this week too, I didn't know this. Maybe I was under a rock. But Prince Philip has not been formally buried. He's been waiting for the Queen.
I was totally unaware of that.
Yeah.
Not that was a secret, but I think that's one of those things where with all of the mourning period on that, how about we leave that detail out? That we're just going to tuck him over there.
Yeah. Because I say if you go back and you look, you see the casket leaving, but you don't actually, how did it, I'll have to find the article. There is footage of them moving him into wherever he's been resting for the last year and a half. And nobody really paid attention to it or noticed. That I know of, I didn't realize that. It's kind of a large
vault. With the full intention of when Her Majesty passes away, then we will
intern them together.
And no doubt that was their wish.
Oh, certainly.
You can't imagine that they would say, hey, what do you think? Is this a good idea now? No. In fact, you told me today, I didn't realize that her casket was designed decades ago.
30 years ago.
Yeah, like
her casket was designed.
There's nothing left to chance.
No. Yeah. And that, I guess, you're surprised, but you're not surprised. When she passed away last week, and I don't know how much you want to get into this now, because I know we're talking about it tomorrow, but when she passed away last week, it was kind of that moment, even though we all knew it had to happen at some point, but still the shock and surprise of her passing. And then the question of, okay, what's going to happen now? Which is silly to think of because there's no way things weren't in place as soon as she took the crown. Like immediately they would have figured it all out.
Exactly.
So
oh no.
Everything,
there'll be chaos.
Everybody's scrambling. No, they knew exactly. So to see everything this week, they've been planning this for so long. As sad as everybody is, they all know their roles. They all know. And I wish more that again, it brings up that it's so important, I think, for families in general to lay this all out.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Because there hasn't been yet any real conflict, any arguments, and everything's done. You know what you're doing. You know where you have to go. You know how it's all going to go from start to finish. We know. We're ready. And I think that's wonderful.
King Charles couldn't find a pen that worked. Did you hear about that?
Other than that, the exploding pen. Yeah.
Oh, come on. But no, you're absolutely right.
The headline was King Charles loses it over leaky pen. Yeah. I'm like, he didn't lose it. The pen exploded.
Exactly.
And he reacted to it. He wasn't losing it on anybody. So the headlines are starting already.
Yeah, I know, and that's awful. I wouldn't want to see morning man Mark Philbin loses at making spaghetti. Yeah, because I do sometimes. It's like, oh, come on. Did I really make that much spaghetti? Is that losing? Could you imagine? I mean, and say what you will about the royal families having all the money in the world. And I don't want to live my life under that fishbowl. No. I understand and I salute Prince William's duty, but I also understand the former Prince Harry saying, less scrutiny. You're living in California. It's never all going away.
No.
But less scrutiny after he saw what it did to his mother. You get one side. One brother goes one way, one brother goes the other way from the same house. So true.
Yeah.
So true. So now what do we do as we get ready for Monday? There is a huge petition going on in Britain right now that says that there should be a holiday on September the 8th every year to mark the passing of Queen Elizabeth. Here. Okay. And I took one look at that and said, that's a great idea, but that just wouldn't work in Canada.
I think it would.
Yeah. I mean, it may happen, but that discussion of, because you're right, she's the longest reigning monarch. So Queen Victoria, we celebrate on May 24th around her birthday because we want one, and thank you, we want a long weekend. We've lived with it forever. She was the monarch when we became a country.
Yes.
So that's why.
So we honor her with that.
There
Absolutely.
we go. Her signature is on it that says, go forth and be Canada. All right. So you get the holiday for that.
But how do you not honor Queen Elizabeth? And it's not necessarily replacing Queen Victoria or that weekend, but maybe adding one. And you say no, but I would like to see it. And I know why you say it, and I'm not arguing that financially, economically, there could be some repercussions from that. How do we do that?
Yeah.
Well, but they're talking about 4-day work weeks already. It's not like we can't throw in an extra day here and there.
Boy, if you're a business
we have
owner,
a lot of holidays.
Day.
We should have holidays.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. We have Labor Day. If it was September 8th, we have Labor Day. We get kids in school 2 days later.
Why not change Labor Day?
Oh my gosh. This is crazy
Why not?
talk.
No, I'm serious. Why not?
I'm serious. Why
change Labor Day to Queen Elizabeth
Day?
Yeah.
And then we tell labor that's built this country you're no longer important because the Queen died.
No.
I'm just telling you how the optics look.
Certainly. But
why not make May 24th Queen Royal Day for both of them?
Because I want an extra day.
Okay. And that's fine if that's it.
March, we still don't have a long weekend in March.
Right.
Move Labor Day to March.
So
who wants to go to work in March anyway?
Yeah, well, that's why they put a March break in. They gave us a whole
Exactly.
week.
So throw Labor Day in there too. Make it part of the March break. The Friday going into March break can be Labor Day
where it is. But I don't know. We'll see what happens
because we're used to it.
There's part of that. No, that's very true. There is part of that. But as part of that, it's like, I don't want to get rid of it just for the sake of getting rid of it. Or moving it just because we think we should move it.
No, but I do believe that the Queen needs to be honored inside. And in that form would be wonderful. And I do think, but in that sense too, there's always the argument on Remembrance Day.
Yeah, well, that's my point. That's another part of my point. If we don't get a day off for Remembrance Day, and we haven't, after all the sacrifices made by Canadians, why would we get a day off on the day she passed away?
Yeah.
So,
now, see, that argument, yes, that makes me pause.
However, Mother's Day we celebrate, that's on a Sunday. Why couldn't we put her celebration on a Sunday where it's not necessarily
When's her birthday?
a statutory holiday? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. For all the celebrity birthdays, you'd think I would remember, but I don't.
Mark.
I'm just one huge disappointment after another.
Okay, so her birthday was April 21st.
Okay. So just after Easter, somewhere in there. So May 24 is always the third weekend in May, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, why not use the Queen's birthday the third Sunday in April? You're right. And that will always be on Sunday. So it doesn't have to be, but it's always commemorated. Like Mother's Day, like Father's Day, without necessarily being a set. But it's a day where we would remember. Yeah.
Just a day on the calendar.
But I do
kind of like Martin Luther King.
Yes. In the United States.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of like that.
And what I
Is it a holiday? It's not a holiday.
No.
But it is a day.
For some, it is. It is a holiday. It's a state decision. And Arizona, for example, refused to commemorate it, and they lost a Super Bowl because of it. They were supposed to host a Super Bowl, and the NFL said, well, if you're going to be like that, we're going to take our game and go somewhere else. Much like Major League Baseball took the All-Star game out of Georgia last year after the voting problems. They said, well, fine, we'll go to Colorado. So anyway, but my point on that is they have President's Day in the United States. So they don't have a different day for Abraham Lincoln, a different day for George Washington, a different day for John F. Kennedy. That's presidents. That's what I was thinking that May 24th would become Royals Day, where we would celebrate Queen Elizabeth, Queen Victoria, and any other royals that we choose to do along the way.
Okay.
That was kind of
I'm warming up to
my thinking on it. But I understand your point.
I do think she should be commemorated, and she will be commemorated.
Absolutely.
There's no question.
Yeah.
But if there was ever a reason to add a holiday or a special day of the calendar year, then this, I think, would be one, certainly.
Because we already have Labor Day. If we went September 8th, then we have Truce and Reconciliation Day and Thanksgiving. We would have 4 statutory holidays in a 5-week period.
Yeah.
And I just think that's... I'm thinking like a business owner or parents who need to find...
But this time of year, too, it might even give businesses chance to get ready for the next time. Like, it would give them kind of like the lull before the busy season.
Okay. You're just paddling now.
Maybe a little bit. Whatever helps.
Yeah.
Whatever helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, all joking aside, it would be nice to have some honor for her. And I know that stirs up a bunch of... Some people don't agree with that, but...
that's for another day.
That's another discussion.
So how about we talk about the person who waited 48 hours to be first in line?
Camped out for 2 days to be there.
2 days.
They're expecting now, in fact, they're telling people to be prepared to wait up to 31 hours if they're in line to walk by her.
And there will
it
be
is
people at the back that won't leave.
No. And have you watched any of it? Have you seen it?
I've only seen sort of pictures and snippets. I haven't actually watched anything, no.
I did watch some of the people going through. It is hard. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I bet.
There's an emotional reaction just watching these people go. Like, it is.
Yeah.
It is emotional. And then the guard that passed out overnight, standing because she's not alone. Someone's with her 24/7.
Of course, yeah.
And one of the guards did pass out.
I read an interesting article on the beauty of civilization is best demonstrated in the queue. Q-U-E-U-E, which is the lineup, right? British, the word is queue. And they said, we as humans invented that. The ability to stand in line behind somebody else and recognize that this is our place because this is when and the fact that there isn't just complete anarchy where everybody just doesn't rush the coffin. We all agree to stand in line and wait our turn. How animalistic that is and how civilized that is. That people, like, think about it, right? The sanctity of the line. Like, you're in a grocery store and you see somebody cut in line. The way we react.
The sanctity of the line.
True.
Don't break the line.
Right. And if somebody calls somebody out for butting in line, we all go, oh, I didn't have the balls to say that out loud, but thanks for doing it. I feel we all feel the same way.
The shame of doing that.
So to be able to, at what point is a line just not really a line? It's just sort of a fanning out of people. No. This queue is 5 miles long. 31 hours in whatever weather in Britain.
Yep.
To wait to say goodbye.
To pay your respects.
Pay your respects. They were talking about capping at a point when they realized, okay, you won't make it anyway, so you're the last person. They're thinking of doing that too, just to prevent people from coming out and then having to deal with them in 36 hours to say, don't, because you won't make it. We'll see what happens.
And some probably would be okay with that. Some would be like, no, I'm going to stand here anyway.
Yeah,
I'll take my chances.
Right, and if I don't make it, or if we all kind of hurry up and walk quickly by and nobody can stop.
I still want to be here.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
There will be people who do that. But yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible.
I think Monday's going to be a remarkable day in the world for Britain.
This is really, and I've said that to the kids over the last week, because it took them a couple of days to get it. Like, we talked about it, but it didn't really resonate, I want to say, until probably Saturday, even Sunday, and they started asking questions because it was everywhere at that point. And I said to them, and they were throwing around the idea that things would be closed on Monday too.
Right.
So I said, if you're home, this is what we're watching. I said, but if you're not, if you're in school, I certainly hope you guys are watching it. I hope they put it on and you guys can watch this. And they kept asking why. I said, because this is one of those big historical moments. This is a moment in history you guys are living through. This is going to be a moment people are going to look back on and be, where were you? Do you remember when? And they're like, really? I said, yes, this is a big moment, guys. You need to pay attention to this and talk about it. So yeah, they have been this week, and they've been asking questions, which has been kind of cool.
Great. No, that's great. Yeah, that's coming up on Monday.
I'm watching it.
I'm going
to be glued to the TV.
I think I will probably watch it up until almost the service begins, and then I don't need to see the service.
I don't
because
know.
I know.
I'd like to, I think.
Yeah, it's sort of like the lead up to it is like, wow, wow. And then when it begins.
And it's to watch them.
Yep. And that's my point. I want to see the British people, the amount of people, the family,
but to watch
the
Charles and
yes.
Prince, to watch William and Harry and their significant others and family, and because let's not forget the headlines about Meghan this week too. Like it's already starting, right?
Yeah.
So you just as much as you feel for them, there's that curiosity and just that fascination with
it all. That's true. And every once in a while in my head, I yell, "Can you give them a week?
Yeah.
Can you give it till Monday?
Just let them grieve. They're grieving. They're not doing anything they're not supposed to. Like they're not. They're just a family grieving.
Give it a week.
The loss of the grandmother.
Just give it a week, for goodness sakes.
But it's gonna be something.
Yeah, and then the whole thing is fascinating too.
And it'll be interesting to see who's there.
Yeah.
Because Trump's shocked he's not invited.
Can't believe, thought he had a special relationship with her. Couldn't believe he didn't get invited. And on that note, it's American Charity Coffee Podcast. More about this coming up tomorrow. And the interesting thing tomorrow is that we think we know the things we want to talk about, like the stat holiday. Other things are going to come out in the next 24 hours.
Oh, certainly.
Because as it moves along, other protocols come out that make people go, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Like, for example, this is the one I've wondered about, and I'll just put it out there and leave it. Text me if you listen to the podcast. Is there a protocol with whom King Charles III must first meet around the world? Like, is it something that says...
because he's talked to people.
Right, but his first official visit outside of or from a visiting... Does it have to be France? Does it have to be America? Or I'm just wondering officially, what does he have to do in the first 90 days as part of his reign based on protocol?
Does he have to do anything?
Exactly. Is he not permitted to do anything for that? Like, again, all of this stuff is going to come out.
Very interesting.
And I can't wait to find out, because if there is a country that is down to the minute, that's the British Empire. And they've been this way for hundreds of years. They've been like this. Nothing has left a chance.
The coffin yesterday left Buckingham Palace at exactly 2:22.
Yeah.
To arrive at Westminster Hall at 3:00. They timed it because of the beat drum. They knew exactly how long it would take to get to exactly. It was down to the minute.
I know.
That whole parade.
Yeah.
It was.
And all of these little tidbits are coming out, and I'm fascinated by it.
It is fascinating.
Fascinating. Tragic.
Because it hasn't happened in
70 years.
Exactly.
And back then, not everybody had a phone, and it wasn't on television.
But yeah.
For us, a few tellies in England might have had it in 1952, but that was about it. American Charity Coffee Podcast. Join us tomorrow on 95.5 Hits FM. We got our dad joke. We got more about that. We got Susan Walsh back on for a snippet to remind you about the Fall Family Fun Fest. It's going on this weekend. Terry Fox Run is this weekend, and plenty more when you wake up tomorrow morning. We'll talk to you then.